Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. This is a little different than I did before, but I just really thought this topic was really so addicted to me because I just saw a poster of this. So if you haven't seen the trailer, I will link that up to the corner right now. And obviously, if you could tell by the title, could we see a live action Peter Pan movie? So I'm going to explain that right in this video. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss my recent videos that I post on YouTube. So I've been looking on the internet that I've been seeing Peter Pan live action movies. So I went all over the internet to find out what kind of like websites would work. So I found a couple and I will link all of these in the description below. But anyway, so I've been finding out that the Peter Pan movie is in development. So in screen rates, it says that it will be in the hands of David Lover. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But anyway, so that he's going to be the director of the Peter Pan live action movie. He directed Pete's Dragon, and they wanted a Peter Pan story to be a live action movie. So they reported that it was in development and has been a slow in recent movies. So also I found on Screenrate that there are a list of classical movies that are going to be action film. So according to Screenrate, Disney has a list of films of animated classical films that would be a live action, and one of them would be Peter Pan. They founded two family stars, Alexander Mullen and Eric Anderson. They were the first they were the first people to put on the big screen and then doing Disney Plus. Some of that I feel like the cast wouldn't be like, I feel like they would not do that, and I'll explain that later, so during the movie, so stay tuned for that. Also, I found out on Screen Rate that they have a list of actors who thought maybe they could be a good Peter Pan. So here are the Peter Pan actors. One of them is Ross Wrench. Another one is Tom Holland, Daniel Radcliffe. Another one is Harry Styles, Chris Golfer. Another one is Elijah Wood, Lonnie Changer, Eliza Auger, Thomas Ranger Singer, and Adam Lambert. So those are all the 10 people who thought people would really be a great Peter Pan in the movie Peter Pan. So then I found another episode called Letterbox, and here's the information that I got from there. So this website like basically tells the plot. So the movie is a live action adaptation of J.W. Barrie's, which is the classical tale of Peter Pan, in which he was the person who created Peter Pan. It's about a boy who wouldn't grow up, and three resident young siblings in London. They join him with a magical adventure to the enchanted island called Neverland. So that's basically the beginning of the story of the movie Peter Pan. So nothing special about that website. So here was from I found on Vix, and there's another website, and here's like the Peter Pan like action, like how would they do it, and some other great actors. So what I found on Vix is that it was planned to start making Peter Pan, the live action movie, was on April 7, 2020 in Canada. So that's when they start like probably like doing the action, doing like movements, doing like that kind of stuff. So according to the reports of the film of Peter Pan, they would call it Peter and Wendy, which I think is kind of a great name. But then if you're gonna grab a classical like movie, it needs to stick to the title of it. You can't like change it. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, it is not known who would be responsible for the Peter Pan in live action. So I think no one's responsible of the movie. I think that's what I'm finding. However, they found some excellent uh, actors from Peter Pan. So here are three actors that would be good for the Peter Pan movie. Thomas Brodie Sangster. So if any of you don't know the Thomas Brady Sangster, either do I, but here is what they said. He was in the movie Maze Runner and Game of Thrones, like movie and TV show. So it would be perfect to be played Peter Pan since he would be turning 30 in 2020. But listen, we don't want like old people. That's what I'm thinking. Like I feel like we want like a Peter Pan. It needs to be like a young, like almost like a teenager who's not gonna turn like age of 30, which looks like 16, which is kind of weird. But so yeah, so he might be okay, but I'm thinking he probably would be a great, but like probably maybe I'm thinking maybe. But here's some other actors. The second actor is Chris Golfer, and he is in a music. If we like had like a Peter musical, he would be a good actor because I think he was in musicals. I think so. He would be a great actor to do that, and also he's in the role of Glee, which I think is a movie. So kind of great dude for a musical, Peter Pan. And then finally, my favorite actor, Tom Holland. So obviously, if you don't know him, which I feel like you should, he is the role of Spider-Man in Marvels, and he is a successful and millionaire franchise. I don't think he's a millionaire, but he at least has money. So just saying. Anyway, so he could be, and he also is like a Hollywood trendy person. I mean, actor. So like, why not? So he could be a good actor for Peter Pan, flying through the air with those pixie dust. And was here found out that with those tights, yeah, those tights would be great, but I wish Vix did not mess it up. Just saying. So then I found another website called ITM, and they think like they have like everything about Disney. So this is the law one, but it's really good information. So the movie Wendy is was in theaters in February 28th. I did not know that movie. I think that was in movies before, so like I did not seen that movie yet. So I don't know. So the new movie of live action Peter Pan would be called Peter Wendy. We already mentioned that. So yeah. Then where so also it will be production and set and begin of April 17th in Canada. That's when they'll like do like the editing, like the action stuff. That's what they will do. And it will be directed by David Lawyer and produced by Jim Wister, which is who works on like a bunch of like action films. Like I think there's Winkle of Time. There's I think Rebirth. And I think there's one more else. I don't know. Probably it's in the picture. You probably see it. Anyway, so yeah, Loner and Winkle are going to remake the story film, but just different. Now, here's something that gets a little bit weird. So because they want to change the film different because all the other, I guess like Peter Pan's, I guess they changed the story up, but then they had a successful. So that's what they're worried about. Like, oh, we just stuck to the classical score. It's gonna be boring and it's not gonna get a lot of views. But that's probably the opposite. So then Walt Disney told to J.W. Paris, which is the person who created Peter Pan, masterpiece is still in first film and is created from his mind dimension. He built their Disney expression, our Peter Pan. So basically means they just think Disney like, hey, we got this idea from like J.M. Barry's, and he just came out of that mind, like just came it out. So I feel like Disney wants them to just keep it with like J.M. Paris. They just want to keep it just him, like he created it. I feel like it should be like this. It shouldn't change it because it was his idea and I feel like we should create this movie that he created to like make it like that. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what that is said. Their biggest challenge is winning over their dissension. I think it's the winning the over the audience. But here's what I'm worried about. In Mulan, I didn't see this. They no longer redo or replace the older films. So the older films from the classical, they didn't redo anything, didn't replace anything. So they decided to give it a new story to the old story. So they changed the old story into a new story. What I found out on Google is that it got 1.9 stars. That's terrible. So they feel like maybe they're thinking like, oh, we could do the same thing as Peter Pan. Yeah, Disney, you really want to see this Peter Pan movie get 1.8 stars? Probably less than that. No, we're not doing that. So otherwise, I found on the same website, and then according to Disney, two castle talented somewhere in the descriptions. Here are the four things that are good for Peter Pan. One, a boy who played age as 12 through 15 of any interest. So I think it's like any like age. So well, I'm thinking like maybe like say like Tom Holland, there's a picture of Peter Pan. Literally, he can look like in Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man movies, he's a 16-year-old boy. Like I feel like that can be literally like Peter Pan's like a 16-year-old ish boy, like a teenager. If Tom Holland can act like a 16-year-old Spider-Man, he can act like a Peter Panish teenager 16-year-old boy. And the second one is they have to be 100 available, so they can't not be like, oh, I have this or something. The entire shoot of Canada through April through August. So I know, so like probably they got their help back because we were in quarantine, and so yeah, so that was of 2020. So it might be held back. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know, but they probably like are holding them back. So anyway, they will need and they also will need a current passport. I probably like a bunch of actors have current passports, so I don't see why not. And the third one is it has to be athletic boys who perhaps have experience in gymnastics, facing tahi kappa hag. I think that's a Japanese thing. No, that's a Hawaiian thing where they move their bodies and dances, something like that. I think I put it in the pictures. Anyway, so and martial arts or more than that. So some people I know for a fact Tom Holland does gymnastics. He experienced it. I think he does still. I'm not too sure, but I think I should. So I feel like maybe some people who are athletic could be poor. But Anthony Manali, I checked on his like biography, and nowhere else I don't think he's gonna be Peter Pan, cause I found out that he's like a boy who plays the violin, which I love because I feel like he's really good at talented. I think I saw him like at Ellen DeGeneres, so I don't know where, but he plays the violin and he's a voice actor, which is like those anime films that does the voice. That's feel like maybe if there was like a Disney like remix of like animated Peter Pan, then he could probably do it. But I don't think Anthony Manali would be good enough because I feel like he's not athletic and like he's not an actor. He's a violinist, which is really powerful and which is really good to keep it with Rick. And anyway, the fourth one is they will be have to be daily rate of shooting of all experiences. So that includes a parents traveling for the shoot. So I think that means like they have to have experience of traveling through shoots like a bunch of times. So they like actors sometimes like when they go all over the world. That's what they expect to do, and will be covered by the production. So Disney also promised daily shooting rates as well as covering all expenses, including the parents' travel experiences for which lucky boy gets the role. So yeah, that's all the first things that I heard from the website. Cast of talents from according to Disney. So I feel like maybe Tom Holland could be good at it. I'm not too sure. So yeah. So here's what I went on. I went on that website, Cast of Talent, and then I found out what more. So the project is called Peter and Wendy, which is kind of like weird to name it Peter and Wendy because I feel like if you're gonna stick to classic, you must stick to like character. What about those other characters? Those little kids that are siblings with Wendy, you gotta add those. Tinkerbell, like there's more than just that. So I don't know why you would name Peter Wendy. That would be kind of weird, but I feel like it would still work. So yeah, and the studio will be at Disney Features Casting, which I think is like where it will be on Hollywood. I think because I think they have like a studio or something like that. And the casting director will be casting. I don't know. I feel like it'll be somebody from like Disney, I guess, will be casting it. I don't know. And the submission deadline was January 31st, 2020. So probably like a person who is in charge of casting would have had it submitted like I think like 3 months by now. And that's what they do. Like they probably need the actors of everything. So by January 1st. So that is all I have for you about this Peter Pan live action movie. Let me know in the comments below about your thoughts. Who would be a good Peter Pan? What would you choose? What would the title be? Like, what would just be? Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. And let me know if you want me to see more like different movies of these. So just leave those in comments. And I'll put in the right hand corner. If are you excited for? Would you be excited for a Peter Pan live action movie? I probably would be. If I love Peter Pan. It's like really a fun thing to do. So yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. On the left corner, you can find out my trailer if you haven't seen yet. Somewhere in the right hand corner, I'll put a different movie or something. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.